What is going on YouTube? It's your boy Spanko, and today I'm excited because I'm bringing you guys another ABC deck profile. However, this build is a little bit different from the builds I've done in the past. I actually haven't seen this build too much online either, and that is the P.U.N.K build. Now we're going to get into it when we get into the deck profile because there's so much synergy with this deck. But if you guys do enjoy these videos, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more Yu-Gi-Oh content just like this one. We upload 5 days a week here on Spanko. We do deck profiles, combo videos, duel replays, all that good stuff. So make sure you guys are subscribed and stay tuned for that. Now I don't want to keep you guys waiting for too long. This is a new build of ABC, a build that I've been enjoying and a build that I think is very competitive in today's format. So with that being said, let's get into the deck profile. Okay, so just before we get started off with the deck profile, I do want to say the really cool thing about ABC is there's just so many different ways to play it, and this is the build that I've been working with right now because I think this build is very competitive for today's format. We're not playing the adventure package, as you guys can see. I know how powerful that package is. However, we're playing a new package in this deck, the P.U.N.K package, which makes this deck more of a combo deck. However, it does stay up to speed with today's metagame, which is why I think this engine is just so good with ABC and it synergizes so well. So to get things started, we are playing 2A Assault Core, 3B Buster Drake, as well as 2C Crush Wyvern. I mean, this is pretty self-explanatory. There was a point where I was playing 2 and 2, but B is just way too good to play 2 of, so I think 3B is pretty necessary. And then we are playing the 1 Union Driver. We're only playing the 1, we don't want to play to the 2. We all know how bad this card is to draw, I understand. However, you still have to only just play the 1 because you want to minimize the amount of bricks in the deck. And on top of that, with unauthorized reactivation, you can pretty much play with this card in your hand. And the really cool thing about the P.U.N.K stuff is cards like Foxy Tune can put pieces in your graveyard for you, and so you don't necessarily need the driver to always resolve. So that's a really cool thing about the synergy with this deck. So we are playing only the 1 of. And then we're playing 3 Union Hanger, mandatory Union Hanger. You can't play this deck without 3 Union Hanger. 1 Terraforming as well as 1 set rotation. You guys can see we're playing the Therion package here, so that's why we're playing the 1 set rotation. I mean, the Therion package gives you an Omni Negate, right? So this card is really good. It also just provides consistency for the deck. And then we're playing 3 unauthorized reactivation like I mentioned earlier. This is pretty much a pseudo Union Hanger for you. If you open your Union Driver, this card kind of saves you because it can equip from your hand. And then the really cool thing about this card is if you open a piece plus this and you don't open Hanger, you're still in a good position because this is pretty much your combo as well, right? So that's why you're playing 3 of this. I just think the consistency is very important in this deck. You need to be able to see all your combo pieces as much as possible, and that's why I really like these ratios. I don't think I changed these ratios at all. And in tomorrow's video, by the way, make sure you guys are subscribed and make sure you stay tuned because I want to show you guys combos with this deck, because now I'm going to get to show you guys the P.U.N.K engine and how good the P.U.N.K engine will synergize with this deck. So we're playing 2 Xiamen, we're playing 2 Foxy Tune, as well as 1 Deer Note. This is the ratio that I've been liking. I don't think I changed this ratio up at all because we're also playing 3 Emergency Teleport, as you guys can see, and E-Tele is always going to give us access to Xiamen. And the really cool thing about this deck is that you don't necessarily need to use your normal summon on the Xiamen because again, you have the 3 E-Tele, which is really important. And that's pretty much where the synergy is. And another thing that this deck provides you, like I said earlier, is Foxy Tune can put your pieces in your graveyard, but this deck lets you compete with the meta in terms of the speed, because yes, it does make this deck more of a combo deck. However, it also does just make it way more consistent with the mills. It makes it way more consistent with getting cards out of your deck. So that's why I really like this engine right here. I don't think I changed this up at all. You guys will see in the combo why this is so good. It's hard to explain, but it just, the synergy with this and ABC is just so powerful. So that's why I decided to play this engine. And then we are playing the 2 Regulus as well as the 3 Coliseum. I mean, this is pretty self-explanatory, I would say. Why wouldn't you want an Omni Negate in your deck, right? Like, there's no reason not to. And the fact that Regulus can recycle your pieces, and your pieces are not once per turn. Keep that in mind. They're not once per turn. So the really cool thing about that is that you can just abuse your pieces and their effects with the Regulus. So that's why you want to be playing this package. And Coliseum also gives you other really cool effects. I mean, you guys know that once per turn, if a monster is destroyed by battle, you can target a Therion monster in your graveyard, add it back to your hand, so you can get back Regulus in that way. And another effect is essentially you can protect from battle if you send a Therion card from your deck to the graveyard. So it has really cool effects outside of just a search, but of course this gets you to Regulus, gets you to an Omni Negate. Then you guys can see we're playing the Scythe and the Jet Synchron. Again, this is the package that the Xiamen and the P.U.N.K package lets you get into, which is really powerful in today's meta, because essentially if you open just an E-Tele, you can get into the whole Scythe deck to play. So not only are you Scythe locking your opponent, you're also just going to be able to go into a full ABC combo after you Scythe lock your opponent with this deck. And that's why I think this deck is just very powerful, because this engine gives you access to stuff like this, which I know you guys are going to say, Spanko, Scythe is such a broken card. I understand, but if you guys want to be competitive, sometimes you have to abuse some of these cards, and Scythe is one of those cards that at the moment is being abused, and so why not abuse it ourselves, right? So we're playing 1-on-1, and then we're playing the 1 Fairy Tale Snow. Of course, this card is really good. A lot of synergy with the deck, and it's just one of those things that gives you extra disruption in the graveyard. And then for the board breaker cards, I think what's really important to play this format is board breakers more than just hand traps. So we're not even playing Ash. You guys can see we're playing literally 3 Dark Ruler No More, 3 imperm, and 3 droplet. This is, I think, the ratios that you should be playing in this deck right now. The thing is, a lot of these decks won't lose to a single Ash. Tier might not even lose to a single DD Crow, whereas the really cool thing about board breaker cards is that essentially once your combos are guaranteed to go through, you have cards in your extra deck that essentially are going to break boards anyways. So if you just go Dark Ruler no more against a Sprite board, you can just pick that board apart. Your opponent's going to have a hard time recovering after you pick it apart because you're going to be setting up your own board as well, and then you can just OTK your opponent on your next turn. Same thing with Droplet here. Droplet is really good because you can send the pieces that are equipped to the graveyard, which makes them get their effects off, which is really nice. But another really cool thing about Droplet, especially if you're going second, is you can go activate E-Telly and then activate Droplet to send the E-Telly to essentially negate a card your opponent controls, which is very powerful. So it kind of is one of those things when you're playing so many quick play spells. So when you're playing so many quick plays in this deck, like the E-Telly, the potential set rotation, the unauthorized reactivation, going second, it becomes really good with Droplet. So I don't think I need to explain the main deck much more. You guys are going to see why the synergy just works so well in the combo video tomorrow. Guys, I'm editing the video and I'm looking at the deck profile and I completely forgot to put in a Called by the Grave. It should be 42 cards in the main deck. Called by the Grave 100% should be in here. The reason 42 is also really nice is because it means that there's less chance of opening your Scythe, your Jet Synchron, or your Driver. So I think 42 is perfect. Make sure to put a Called by the Grave. I think that card is just way too broken to not play. So moving on to the extra deck here, we are playing 2 ABC Dragon Buster. Of course, I think 2 is all you need. You don't need the third one, especially when not playing Prosperity in this deck. I know a lot of people might be saying, why don't you play Prosperity? Keep in mind how consistent this deck is already with 3 E-Telly, 3 Hanger, Terraforming, the Colosseum. You're going to be ripping through this deck so quick. You don't need the Prosperity. And the thing with Prosperity, and I love that card and I think that card is great. However, once you start getting rid of the cards in your extra deck, your combos become a little bit weird. Because it's like, okay, where do I go from here? The thing is with ABC, ABC has always been known to be a toolbox deck. A deck that can always go into random toolbox cards in the extra deck. But when you're banishing those cards, ABC inherently just becomes a little bit worse. So I think with this build specifically, you don't need Prosp. And for the reason you don't need Prosp, you also only need 2 Dragon Buster. Then we're playing 1 of the Chaos Ruler, of course. The Xiamen package gets into this, which is very powerful. 1 of the Shooting Riser Dragon. Shooting Riser is really good because Xiamen's a level 3 tuner, and you can use any piece with the Xiamen to make Shooting Riser. Shooting Riser can send your Fairy Tail Snow, and then now you have another form of disruption, which is really nice. We're playing the 1 TG as well as the 1 Baron. I think this is a little bit self-explanatory because once you make the Scythe lock with the Hulk, you go the TG Wonder Magician, pop Scythe, summon Scythe, and then Scythe and TG into your Baron. So that's why Baron and TG are just such a good combo together in this format. Then of course we're playing the 1 Platinum Gadget. You need this for ABC combos. 1 IP Masquerena. We're playing the Hulk of Vibrax, of course, because we're playing that engine. We're playing the 1 Dagda, the 1 Link Karibo. This is just all combo pieces right here. Then we're playing the 1 Unicorn. This is more toolbox after this. So we're playing the 1 Unicorn, of course, which can get you access to the 1 Access Code Talker. Access Code Talker is just so easy to make in this deck with the pieces because once you tag out Buster, you get 3 pieces back. If you have Hanger on the board, you'll pretty much get a 4th piece. So you can just go straight into Unicorn and then go into Access Code Talker right after. This is just really easy to get into and it helps you OTK, of course. And then we're playing on the 1 Apollo. IP a lot of the time can make Apollo with Platinum Gadget if you're forced to go that route. So for that reason, you still have to be playing the 1 Apollo. And then we're playing the 1 Underworld Goddess. This card just helps you break a lot of boards. You can make it with IP Masquerena as well, especially when your opponent, like sometimes they'll open like 3 hand traps and something, and then you're like, okay, well, the best I can end on is like an IP plus like a random piece or something like that, or a couple pieces or a couple monsters on board, whatever it is. Then you use your IP plus the monsters on board, plus potentially a monster your opponent controls to make the Underworld Goddess, and this kind of just provides you with another form of disruption. So I think this extra deck is really powerful. I think the main deck itself is very powerful. Again, you guys are going to see in tomorrow's video, which is the combo video, why I think this deck just synergizes so well, and so many different hands do so many different things in this deck, which is so powerful. And again, just the fact that we have Emergency Teleport at 3 is essentially what makes this deck live, because the P.U.N.K engine in its own is going to let you combo before you even do any of the ABC stuff. So if your opponent uses their hand traps on the P.U.N.K engine, you're like, okay, activate Uni Hanger, and then you go full ABC combo after that. So that's why the P.U.N.K package is just so good into this deck. And so yeah, I think this deck is very powerful. Try it out for yourselves, but I will be showing you guys a combo in tomorrow's video. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. That is ABC P.U.N.K, and I understand this deck is a little bit different than the standard builds that we've seen. We're not playing the adventure package, but this build is just so powerful, and you guys are going to see the synergy in tomorrow's video, because once you guys see the combos, you guys are going to understand why this deck is so powerful. Even with quote-unquote brick hands, just having access to the P.U.N.K engine gives you access to so many different combos that you didn't have access to before. So make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. I mean, honestly, it's free, so you guys might as well subscribe, right? And support your boy. But also, we do upload 5 days a week here on the channel. We do combo videos, deck profiles, duel videos, all that good stuff. So make sure you guys stay tuned for all that. And thank you guys all for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. That's Spanko signing out. Peace.
Get up, we want you to get on your feet.